Radical self-acceptance means understanding that we are made exactly the way we were meant to be. There is no part of us without a purpose. There is no excess in how we are put together. There was no mistake made here. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the book You Were Born for This, Astrology for Radical Self-Acceptance by Chani Nicholas. So if you're interested in astrology, if you want to gain a deeper understanding on yourself and your life's purpose, or even if you've felt a little bit overwhelmed about getting into astrology, then this video is definitely for you. So before I get into this book, I'm going to chat a little bit about my personal background with astrology. I have been interested in astrology for years. Genuinely, since I was a teenager, I used to read the horoscopes and the magazines and all that kind of stuff. But it's only really been in the last year that I've started to deeper dive into it and really own my love for astrology. To be honest, I used to be a little bit ashamed is a strong word, but I used to shy away from being really into astrology because I feel like a lot of the time people can make you feel silly, or at least try to make you feel silly or belittle you for being into astrology. I kind of shied away from it, and over the past year I've just been on a journey of self-acceptance and accepted that I am interested in astrology. I don't care what other people think about it, whether you believe in it, whether you don't. It's something that I find useful and it's helpful for me. Last year I read a book called Astrology Made Easy by Yasmin Boland, and that did really help me gain a deeper understanding of particularly my sun, moon and rising, and things like Mercury retrograde and what all those kind of terms mean. If you're interested, my sun is in Leo, my moon is in Libra, and my rising is in Scorpio. So I felt like I had a fairly good grasp on that, but this book definitely helped me understand that on a deeper level, and it really did comfort me and also in a way energize me by confirming that I am on the right track with my life's purpose. I feel like I have a bit of a renewed sense of energy and direction and that I'm channeling into what I want to do, which is being an actress and content creator. So sitting here and making this video is definitely aligned for me. By the way, my name is Sarah. I make YouTube videos. I'm going to be uploading once a week from now on, so if you like this kind of content then definitely subscribe. I really appreciate it. So let's have a quick overview of Chani Nicholas. Now Chani Nicholas is an astrologer. She's been an astrologer for many years, and she also runs her own podcast called Astrology of the Week by Chani Nicholas. So that's how I discovered her. I started listening to her podcast and that's how I heard about her book. I'd also seen a few other people on my Instagram recommend this book, so I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. So this book basically talks you through the basics of the placements in your astrological birth chart. Now, if you don't know what your birth chart is, it is a map of the sky at the exact moment that you were born, and all you need to figure out your birth chart is the date that you were born and the time and the place, and then you will be able to generate your birth chart and see where all the planets were and in what houses they were in at the exact moment that you were born. And your birth chart is a really powerful tool for understanding yourself on a deeper level, but you can only really do that if you know how to interpret it, because guarantee you, if you are a beginner at astrology and you look at your birth chart, you're going to be overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? So definitely books like this are so helpful, and this one in particular I think makes it really simple to understand the basics of your birth chart. I would describe this book as a workbook for your birth chart. So when you're reading this, I would have your birth chart ideally printed out, but definitely on hand in some way. I would have a pen and maybe even a journal, but there is space in this book to write things down. That's why I really liked it, because you can just skip to the parts that are relevant to you. So I have my sun in Leo, so I would just skip to where it says the information about that, and I would fill that in or take note of it or whatever. So it's not like you're reading it cover to cover, you are sort of skipping to the parts that are relevant to you. Personally, I found this section on aspects really helpful, because last summer when I read Yasmin Boland's book, I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of my sun, moon and rising and what different placements meant, but I was still really stuck on aspects. I just didn't understand them. I didn't really know what they were, and I didn't really know how to interpret them. Whereas this book made it really easy. It literally broke it down how to identify what the aspects are in a really simple way. So I found that really helpful. There are also journal prompts at every stage in this book. So when you find out where your sign is, so for example your sun sign, you can write down my sun is in Leo, my sun is in the 10th house of career and public roles. It gives you space to write down what all these things mean, which is really helpful. And then it details what that actually means for you. So I actually took a highlighter and I would highlight the parts that I found really important or really relevant to me. I have still to do a lot of the journal prompts. I'm going to take time to do that, but I was just so into this book, I just wanted to keep reading because I was getting really excited by what it was kind of uncovering for me. So I'm going to go back to it and do the journal prompts, but I actually would recommend, if you are going to read a book like this, this, or really any kind of book on astrology, I think it is good to like go back to it time and time again and use it as a reference to remind yourself, because it's actually really difficult to like remember all the different aspects of astrology. Like there's so much to it. So I think books like this are not something that you just like read once and then get rid of or forget about. I think it's definitely a sort of reference to go back and look at and check in with over and over again. Overall, I would say this book definitely left me with a sense of comfort and a certainty that I'm on the right path. That was really, really reassuring for me. My sun is in Leo and it is in the 10th house, and your 10th house relates to your sort of career prospects. I gathered from this book that I'm here to shine in my career of being an actress, a performer and a content creator. So here we are. I would say if you are a little bit further on in your journey of astrology, this book probably isn't for you, because I think it is pretty basic. I think it could honestly help anyone, but yeah, if you're like super advanced in your astrology journey, then you probably already know the majority that's in this book. I would say this is definitely geared towards beginners. So if you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, if you want to learn more about your sun, moon and rising, if you want to learn how to decode your birth chart, I think this is a perfect place to start. So I'm going to give this book 5 stars, honestly, on Goodreads. I'll also link my Goodreads below if you want to follow me on there. You can also find me on TikTok, and if you're interested in more of this type of content, I do have another video that goes a bit further into your sun, moon and rising, so I will have that linked below as well. But thanks so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what your sun, moon and rising is, and if you want more book reviews or astrology content, then let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!